Welcome back, guys. So earlier we have talked about what are the redo log files, what are the groups, why we manage groups of redo log files. Uh, we have talked. I'll tell you in this video why we are using groups. But we can have more than one group, and we can have more than one file in a particular group. What is the use of redo log buffer? What is the log writer? So what is the need of more than one group of redo log files? You see, we have a group one, two, three. So why is the need of three groups or more than one group? We can manage redo log files in group one, but why is the need of two or three? So when archive mode is enabled, archive mode is when we are writing to redo log files, and that is always we are writing to redo log files. But when we take the backup of redo log files, that is archive log mode, and we are just archiving the redo log files to some other location, that is called archive mode. So when archive mode is enabled, then archival process periodically archives the redo log files and backing up on the archival location periodically. You see, the log writer writes them periodically, and there is one archival process which archives the files from this log files, this group, to other archival location. I'll show you in my lab how we check that. So on the other hand, log writer process write the redo log files on the redo logs. So log writer is writing, we saw our current log file is from group 2 right now. Okay, so archival process may be using working on this one, group 1, archiving the log files from group 1 to the archival location. Or if this gets full, the log writer moves to this, and then archival process archives the files from group 2 to archived location. Okay, so this is the use of groups when we are using archival mode. Because if both archival mode and archival process and log writer process both are sharing the same group and for sharing the same uh, redo log files, then they'll get into some situation where one process needs to wait as the other process is writing or archiving the redo log files. So at a single point of time, both can run together by one writing redo log files and one group, and another archiving redo log files of another group to the archiving location. Okay, so if we have only one single group, then performance get degraded, and both as both the process compete for a single group. If we have only single group, then both processes are working on these group and the log files of this, and then the database performance will degrade it because one process needs to wait until another process completes. We have taken two disks here. Okay, the reason is, if one, you see, disk 1, disk 2, redo log file 1 is on disk 1 and 1b is on disk 2. So the reason is, if disk 1 gets corrupted, then we take the redo log files from disk 2 for recovery purpose. So this is also for our sake of maintenance, and we can call it maintenance and its security, uh, so that we'll disaster recovery. In case of disaster recovery, in case of failure, we can just get, if the disk 1 gets corrupted, we can get that redo log files from disk 2. Okay, so that the archival process only runs when the database is in archive mode. Without the archive mode enabled, we cannot recover the database, as we do not have the backup of redo log files. Okay, so archival archival mode, we get the backup of the redo log files only. Redo log files are there always in archival mode and in no archive mode, but the backup of these when we are placing on archive location, that can be taken only when the database is on archival mode. Okay, so let's go to the lab and see some commands. Okay, we have earlier we have checked what is the current. Let's try again. Okay, so you see earlier those was active because we were archiving the uh, those were required for the log recovery purpose. Redo log files are getting returned to the uh, log buffer was writing uh, log writer was writing log files to redo log files to the redo log file. Log writer was just a minute. Log, not log writer. The log writer writes the transactions from redo log buffer to redo log files. Okay, so we saw it, which is current right now, and both other are inactive. So we have added files to group 1, 2 and 3. But if I check that again, or if I query that again, what are the files? This one, to see the files of the order by group. Okay, so you see for group 1 we have 2 files, group 2 we have 2 files, group 3 we have 2 files. So if we have to delete it, if we want to delete the log files for group 3, how we do it? We have checked group 3 is not in current state right now, we can delete it. Okay, if that's in the current state, we cannot delete that, then we need to again switch from one log file to another using this alter system. But now as we have checked, the current is 2, so we can delete 3 right now. How we do it? Using this alter database drop log file group 3. It's very simple. Database altered. Okay, so if we check again, you see we are seeing only data files for group 1 and group 2. And if we go to this location, the users d users downloads Oracle logs, no, downloads softwares Oracle 19c, Aura data, ORCL, you see 2b, 1b, 3b, 3. These both are here. You will see it here. If you have removed it, but still you are seeing it, you need to manually remove them. Okay, else you will seeing the error again once you are trying to add them again. So again we have removed them. Group 3, how we add that again? We have removed the files from group 3. How we add that again? This is the command. Alter database add log file group 3 d user the location 3a, 3b and 3c, and the size is 10 M. You see, alter database add log file group 3. Okay, so let's add it. Database altered. So now if we query that again, You see, group 1 has 2, group 2 has 2, group 3 has 3 log files, redo log files. And if you go to the location, we'll see 3 log files, 3A, 3B, 3C. Those are created by its own, but for deletion, we just need to go to that location manually. Okay, and remove that. Okay, so we have removed the files, and we have added the files, alter the database to switch to one another log file. We have removed those files and then added them again. So you see, we can a database can a group can have one, two, or three redo log files. One can be an for the sake of our maintenance, and uh, DBA can not take the chance to get its only one file corrupted. So he take the data two redo log files all the time. It's better to use two redo log files, but we can have three as well. Okay, so in this video we have talked about how we manage the groups and how we manage the redo log files. So I'll see you in my next video when we were talking about archive log mode. So thank you.